Hey guys, this is episode 4.
Let's check out what's going on with the Substage of the DDKONG. One of the things that we wanted to do to keep up with current trends was utilize a series tuned 6th order bandpass enclosure.
6th order bandpass in a nutshell is a ported box inside a ported box. It's ported boxception. Ported boxception.
We decided on 6 of our 9915 ESP series subs with enough power to push them, being 2 of our Z2C amplifiers.
Z2Cs are clamping about 9,000 watts per amplifier, depending on frequency.
For the enclosure, we went ahead and utilized some Baltic birch, 13-layer Baltic birch. The woofer baffle itself, I want to say it was 4 layers thick on the woofer baffle, and then the entire rest of the enclosure is double baffled.
Talking about the rear ports. How big are the rear ports?
There's just a pair of...
We actually stack fabbed all the rear ports together. We wanted to make sure that the port size was appropriate. Each of the rear ports is 8 and 9/16 inches in diameter on the inside. How long did you just have to sand before your fingerprints got worn off?
Yes, many hours of sanding in order to achieve the finish that I was after, and then slicked up for reduction in port turbulence, things of that nature. Once it got there, the end product was perfectly functional and I was happy with it. The baffle itself is attached to the sides of the enclosure with angle iron, as well as a plethora of steel tubing used to stiffen the baffle, as well as the top and bottom of the enclosure itself. Here's Mason polishing his pole.
Everybody loves to jiggle the jiggly bits.
The wire coming off of each one of the 9915s is DDZ wire, and they actually go to a common bus bar that's inside the box that allows us to combine all the wires and go straight out of there to 4 gauge outside the box, and that goes directly into the amplifiers.
There's Aaron biting shit out of something.
Sometimes you gotta strip a wire that way.
The box itself is lined on 3 sides with infinity mirrors.
You're missing a lot of narration right now. Loading all the subs in the enclosure took the better part of an afternoon with both me and Lewis doing it. One of the big challenges that we faced is we needed to make sure that the top chamber would be sealed off from the bottom chamber with the exception of the ports themselves. So inside the enclosure you can see that we have that giant tube steel brace. Well, we actually cut a hole in the top of that and the bottom section of it going through the enclosure so that we could run all of our power wire, or all of our subwoofer signal wires down through that pole, out through the pole in the bottom chamber, and then to the bus bars inside the bottom of the chamber.
This, of course, being for the 2 inverted subs in the closure. The 99s, with the additional coil area of it being a 4-inch coil, did offer more surface area to help dissipate heat.
Besides the fact that we decided to do composite cones on them, those subs are totally stock. They don't have any suspension mods, no special coils that are only for us.
Yeah, no team version.
Yeah, those are straight up production models that any average Joe's gonna get.
Fucking Mason, just fucking everything up.
This is where he was constructing the actual platform that supports the front of the enclosure beyond the actual load floor, and also was what allowed us to secure the enclosure to the floor of the vehicle to make sure that it was secure and safe and would not shift. It also served as a bit of extra storage space for any bric-a-brac we may need to bring to a show, or wires that we were able to run through there. Again, manipulating the enclosure turned out to be a huge pain in the butt due to its excessive weight. The enclosure ended up being heavy enough that it needed to be loaded in via forklift. It ended up being 1,104 pounds.
Yeah, it didn't matter how many of us there were. Moving 1,000 pounds of straight brick is not something that's super convenient to load into the back of a vehicle where there's no side space, so you can't just crawl in there along with the enclosure. Just in loading the enclosure in, before we started adding batteries and all of the extra amp rack and steel and everything that went into it, we lost a good 4 inches on the back suspension.
But again, big thanks to the folks at Hellwig for helping the port trucks suspend all of that weight in a manner that allowed us to still be able to move the vehicle. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and hopefully you can make it out this weekend to Austin, Texas to see the Custom Sounds Texas Heat Wave. If not, you know who you are.